It was a busy afternoon in one of the most luxurious restaurants in the city, the kind of place where business deals worth millions were signed over a glass of wine and a perfectly cooked steak. The waiters moved quickly and quietly, their uniforms spotless, their faces calm, even though the weight of expectations pressed on them. Among them was a young black waitress named Maya. She had only been working there for a few months, and she carried herself with grace. She needed this job badly because her mother was sick at home and her younger brother was still in school. Balanced everything on her shoulders without complaining. She knew that every shift mattered, and she gave her best effort each day. On this particular afternoon, the restaurant was buzzing with energy because a millionaire CEO named Richard came in with his business partners. Richard was tall, sharp, and dressed in an expensive navy blue suit. He was the kind of man people recognized instantly. His reputation was well known across the city as a ruthless businessman who valued money over people. He walked in with confidence, and the staff quickly noticed the tension rise. The manager whispered to Maya to handle his table carefully because this was a man who did not tolerate mistakes. Maya took a deep breath, straightened her apron, and approached the table with a warm smile. Richard barely glanced at her as she greeted him. "Good afternoon. Welcome to La Maison. May I take your order?" His eyes narrowed as though her presence alone irritated him. He gave a dismissive wave and barked, "Get us your finest, steak, medium rare, and do not take forever." The way he spoke made the other waiters shift uncomfortably. Maya nodded politely and wrote it down. She returned a few minutes later with the appetizers, carefully placing each plate in front of the suited men. "Richard, this service, my food is not even arranged properly." Maya remained calm, her voice soft. "I'm so sorry, sir. Let me fix that right away." She gently adjusted the plate and tried to remain professional. Richard leaned back in his chair, sneering. "You people can never get anything right, always slow, always careless." He did not care that the restaurant was full of customers listening to his every word. Maya felt her cheeks grow hot, but she held back her emotions. She knew better than to argue, but inside she was breaking. The insult was sharp and personal. Richard smirked, satisfied that he had put her in her place. What he did not realize was that at the next table sat an important investor from overseas, Mr. Harrison, who was quietly observing everything. Mr. Harrison was known for his fairness and his sharp judgment. He had come to the city to finalize a $200 million deal with Richard Company. He wanted to see Richard in action, how he behaved under pressure, how he treated people, and most importantly, if he was a man of integrity. As Richard continued to belittle Maya, his words grew harsher. She returned with the main course, setting his steak carefully before him, but Richard slammed his fist on the table, startling everyone. "You are stupid," he growled. "You cannot even carry a plate properly. Do you know who I am? I could have you fired with a single phone call." Maya froze, her hands trembling. The entire restaurant fell silent. Even the piano player paused. Richard's voice echoed through the air, dripping with arrogance and cruelty. The manager rushed over, apologizing profusely. But Maya stood tall, fighting back tears. She gave a small nod and whispered, "I am sorry, sir," before stepping aside. Her dignity remained intact, even though Richard tried to shatter it. Mr. Harrison set down his glass of wine slowly, his face unreadable. He excused himself from this table and walked over to Richard. "Good afternoon," he said calmly. "I believe you are Richard, the CEO. We are supposed to meet tomorrow for our deal." Richard straightened immediately, his arrogance shifting into fake charm. "Yes, of course, Mr. Harrison. What a pleasure to see you here. Please have a seat." Harrison shook his head. I already have a seat, thank you. But I must tell you, I have seen everything I needed to see. Richard looked confused, trying to understand. Harrison continued, I came here today to learn what kind of man I would be investing $200 million with. I wanted to see your character. And what I saw was a man who humiliates hard-working people in public. A man who values no one but himself. You may be wealthy, but you are poor in respect. Harrison's words cut through the air sharper than any knife. Richard's face turned pale. He stammered, Wait, please do not misunderstand. She's just a waitress. Harrison raised his hand, cutting him off. Exactly. That is the problem. You think just because someone serves food, they are beneath you. But let me tell you this. A person's true character is shown in how they treat those who cannot do anything for them. And you, Richard, have shown me everything I need to know. This deal is off. Mr. Harrison turned and walked out, leaving Richard stunned and speechless. His business partners exchanged uneasy glances, realizing what just happened. Richard had not only embarrassed himself, but lost a $200 million deal on the spot. Maya, who had quietly returned to the corner, stood frozen. She could not believe what she heard. Her chest tightened with relief and gratitude. Some customers in a restaurant even clapped quietly for her dignity and courage. The manager walked up to Maya and placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. You did nothing wrong, Maya. You handled yourself with grace and professionalism today. Richard's reputation will crumble, but you, my dear, will rise higher than you imagine. Maya went home that night, holding her head high for the first time in a long while. She told her mother about everything, and her mother, eyes filled with tears of pride. The world may have tried to break her spirit, but instead it revealed her strength. And somewhere in his mansion, Richard sat in silence, realizing that his arrogance cost him more than just a deal. It cost him his respect, his reputation, and his chance to ever be trusted again. The story of that day spread across the business world like wildfire. Investors pulled away, employees whispered about his downfall, and the restaurant became known not for Richard's cruelty, but for the courage of a young waitress who endured it all with grace. In the end, respect proved more valuable than money, and character more powerful than status. And that day, everyone in the restaurant witnessed a lesson worth more than money. That respect and kindness weigh heavier than gold. Because no matter how much power or wealth someone holds, their true character is revealed in the way they treat others. Maya walked away with her dignity, while Richard lost everything with a single cruel word. Remember, you never know who is watching, and one act of arrogance can destroy years of success. Thank you for watching this story. If it touched your heart, do not forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more inspiring stories just like this one.